It was the moment I realized my entire career was being held together by a lie, and I was done playing nice. I'm Nolan, 28, a software developer in Seattle. Every morning, I sit in the same corner of my cramped apartment, sipping my cold coffee, staring at the screen as I prepare for another long day. My fingers hover over the keyboard, typing code that no one ever notices, no one ever thanks me for. Most of my life is spent behind the scenes, doing the work that keeps the wheels turning. My ideas, my vision, they're just whispers in the background. But there's a problem. Someone's been stealing my whispers, and it wasn't the first time. The truth was, I'd been overlooked for years, all while others took credit for what I built. Then there was Garrett, my so-called friend, Garrett, who had somehow weaseled his way into every conversation, every meeting, pretending he had all the answers. Garrett, who always smiled and slapped me on the back, but behind the scenes, he was a different person. He would take my ideas, twist them, and present them as his own. He'd speak in that condescending tone like he was some tech genius while I quietly watched, biting my tongue. I gave everything to that company, late nights, missed weekends, time with my family that I'll never get back, all for them to ignore me. Garrett used my work, manipulated the truth, and acted like he was the one holding the company together. And then came the day he mocked my proposal in front of everyone. This idea? It's nice, but it's not going to change anything. We need to be realistic. Nolan. The laughter of my coworkers still echoed in my head, a mocking chorus that drowned out every shred of dignity I had left. That was the day everything changed. That was the day I decided I wouldn't let them steal my future anymore. It happened in front of our CEO, the one person whose approval actually meant something. Garrett had already told me he was going to take the lead on the presentation, because that's how the hierarchy works. Nolan. I watched as Garrett ran through my idea, tweaking a few words here and there, acting like it was his breakthrough. He had no shame. The moment he passed it off as his own, I felt a cold burn run through my veins. This is the future of the company, he said, looking at the CEO. With that cocky grin, we'll move forward, and leave these outdated ideas behind. I sat there, frozen, holding back every ounce of fury and disappointment. My stomach churned, a knot so tight I thought I might be sick, but I didn't speak, not yet. I just clenched my fists under the table, waiting for my moment. I left that meeting with my mind made up. I wasn't going to wait for Garrett to ruin everything I'd worked for. In silence, I began reworking my idea, perfecting every line of code, every aspect of the project. It was personal now. No one was going to take what I had created and walk away without consequences. I spent weeks after hours, in the dead of night, alone with the screen and the ticking clock. It was cold in my apartment, but the burn in my chest kept me going. I didn't tell anyone. Not even my closest friends. My plan was quiet, calculated. I wasn't going to let Garrett have the final word. The day finally came when the company's project hit a massive snag, the kind of problem that could send us spiraling into failure. Garrett was frantic, calling me, begging me to come in, telling me everything was riding on this. Nolan, you have to fix this. You're the only one who can. His texts came in fast, his panic leaking through the screen, but I stayed quiet. I didn't need to reply. I already knew what I had to do. I walked into the office the next day, calm and collected, my solution in hand. The look on Garrett's face when I showed them my work, when I single-handedly saved the project, was priceless. He was scrambling, his fingers shaking as he tried to cover up his lies. But, this is my work, he stammered, unable to keep up with the truth. I didn't say a word, I just let him drown in it. The twist? I didn't just save the company, I took control of it. The CEO, who had always been too busy to notice my contributions, saw the truth that day. When I presented the fully realized solution, everything shifted. Garrett was caught in his lies, his deceit exposed for all to see. The CEO turned to me, her voice cold but filled with respect. Nolan, this company needs someone like you. You're in charge now. The room fell silent. Garrett, standing there, speechless, could only watch as I walked out. From under his shadow, the irony? He'd done everything to climb the corporate ladder, but it was my integrity that put me at the top. Garrett didn't last long after that. His career collapsed almost as quickly as his reputation. I stayed focused on my work, ignoring the whispers of my success. Sure, I felt a sense of satisfaction, but I wasn't proud of the way things went down. No, what mattered most to me was knowing I had stayed true to myself. Even when the world told me to give up, the job wasn't just a paycheck anymore. It was about proving that loyalty and hard work were worth more than lying and taking shortcuts. Now, I sit here, on the edge of a new chapter. My office is quiet, my company thriving, and for the first time in years, I feel at peace. It's strange, you know? After everything that happened, I learned that doing the right thing wasn't just a choice, it was a way to reclaim everything that was taken from me. So here's my message. Never let anyone define your worth, especially not the ones who try to tear you down. I'd love to hear your stories. Have you ever faced a betrayal like mine? Drop a comment below, and let's talk. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, because, trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.